So a worker-owned company that's functioning well and making a profit, perhaps a small profit, but all the workers are profiting because of their high pay as a laborer, can go on forever, and we don't have to worry about what the stock does. And so my company is not going to issue very much common stock, at least not enough stock for the stockholders to have any control over the company. They can go speculate with it. They can, when we're doing good and producing profits, they'll make profit off of that stock. But the workers themselves will be owning the preferred stock, the blue chip stock, and that stock will have higher functioning than the common stock. It's just an idea. Because I pay my workers minimum wage. What? Yeah, I'm paying them minimum wage, which happens to be on the federal level $8 an hour right now. But wait a minute, I thought you were paying the workers $20 or $30 an hour. Well, this is how it works. You see, the IRS is very prejudiced toward capitalists and very unevenly. In other words, the IRS will tax labor higher than it taxes capital. There's that balance again where capital has taken over the democracy side of the fence. And the IRS has built up rules and regulations over time which benefits capital but does not benefit the labor. So if I were to pay you $50 an hour as a laborer, then you'd have to pay a huge amount of tax on that. Whereas if I pay you minimum wage, you pay a little bit of tax on that, but then I give you stock dividends as well because you're working there and you own the company, you own stock, then the dividends become 2 or 3 times greater than your labor cost per hour. So if you're only making $8 an hour on a bottom level as a laborer, and you're making $50 an hour equivalent in dividends, you pay a lot less in the way of taxes. It's just a smart way to avoid that imbalance in the IRS system. So we're not going to be just paying $8 an hour. We're going to be ending up paying you $50 an hour, for example, because you owe the company and you have the priority blue chip stock in your pocket. And then we can afford to give you the kind of benefits that every worker wants. They need health care, they need dental care, they need babysitting, they need paid leaves, or when they have a baby, somebody gets sick, emergencies. Imagine designing a corporation so that it functions as a support system for its workers. It can also go outside and build housing and invest in housing and provide that housing at a reasonable cost for its workers, or for the public at large, but also for its workers. And companies have done that. They've built company towns where nothing existed because they wanted to have people be able to live nearby the factory and not have to commute very far. And it's a typical kind of thing that, for example, the Japanese would do. In some cases, it's a capitalist idea because if they can provide you with really cheap housing and then charge you a lot for it, they've got another income stream. But we're talking about a factory that's owned by the workers, and they're not out to make a big profit. They're out to benefit themselves and the community they live in, and to protect the environment. So that's the kind of corporation I'm putting together as an entrepreneur, and just learning how to do that. And I think that is such an attractive thing that people who have the skills and the knowledge that I might want to have to hire will be just knocking at my door. So how can a regular capitalist, as it is thought of today, corporation compete with that? When I tell this story to people, I hear the same thing over and over again. Okay, you build a wonderful product, you put it out there, and the workers are benefiting. There's a little bit of profit left over for the stockholders out in the world who aren't workers. Well, what's to prevent China Incorporated from buying one of your things and reproducing the hell out of it and making millions of them at 1/10 the cost that you're selling them at. I mean, being able to sell their product at 1/10 the price that you're selling it at. What's to prevent them from just wiping you out that way? Well, I say, look at this. We're not actually going to sell our product. We're going to lease it to people. And we're not only going to lease it to people, we're going to lease it with a few benefits. It's going to have a warranty that's a lifetime warranty, that the product will be guaranteed by our company to function as if it were new for its life. Since we're leasing it, we don't have to get a big bundle of cash from our customers who, like you do now, you have to go out and buy a car that costs $30,000. My God, I bought a house for less than that not too long ago. So how do you do that? You buy a car, you finance it, you pay $400 or $500 a month for that. That's your transportation cost, plus the insurance and gas and whatever. Well, what we're producing is a vehicle. It's an electric vehicle. It doesn't have the overhead of a car. It doesn't have a gas-burning engine in it. You can recharge it every day. And it's it's environmentally earth-friendly. That's why we call it Gaia-Trike. Now, what if we not only produce that product, but produce a whole utility around it, so that what you're leasing from us is not a wheelchair that becomes a electric motorcycle, but a whole transportation system, a personal mobility machine. And you pay a monthly premium for that based on your income, rather than the other capitalist way is it's going to be $40,000 and that's it. That's the price. And after you buy it, the vehicle will be worth 30% less the minute you drive it off the lot, because it's now a used car, and you're going to have to come up with insurance to make sure that if it breaks, it'll get fixed. And you're going to have to come up with out-of-pocket expenses to repair it and maintain it, and change its oil every 5,000 miles. Compare that to an electric vehicle, which doesn't have much in the way of maintenance to do in the first place. It comes with a lifetime warranty, a guarantee that that vehicle will be up to date in Kansas City for the life and use of it. So we include insurance in the lease. You don't have to go out and buy insurance for it. We include the fact that if something breaks on this vehicle, it'll be repaired within 1 hour of waiting time at our local dealership, and we'll have dealerships all over the place. We guarantee some things that no other vehicle company has ever offered anybody, because the workers want it that way. The workers need it that way. They're also our consumers, because they're being paid enough to buy the product that they make. We're also going to be doing software updates, just like you buy a computer and you get new operating systems periodically that you have to pay for and install. There is an electronic brain in the wheelchair that knows how to manipulate it into a recumbent electric motorcycle. And it has to be updated. Every time we make an improvement at the factory, we're going to send out an update, a software update. And anytime we make a hardware improvement, we're going to have you stop by the dealership for an hour while we upgrade that vehicle to match all our other vehicles. So the whole fleet of what we produce is going to be maintained and improved over time. There's not going to be any obsolescence built into the vehicle at all. And you're going to be able to afford it. Well, how can I afford it? I mean, something like that must cost $30,000. Well, it could be. But if it were sold on the open market in the normal way of doing things, you might have to pay that much for it. But we're not doing that. We're saying if your income is this level, this is how much a month you pay us. It's like PG&E selling electricity. We're selling transportation. Your personal mobility machine is a utility now. It's not a car or a truck. What those exact numbers are, we don't know yet. I mean, we can speculate on it. But my guess is that on average you can pay for this personal vehicle that you can drive in the street or fold up into a wheelchair and drive into your house with approximately, say, $300 a month, which is a typical lease amount for a vehicle. So we talked about the workers owning the factory. We talked about the product being warranted for life. What are we missing? I don't think we're missing much. Oh, that question. What happens if the Chinese come along and rip us off? And suddenly they produce a vehicle that they can sell on the open market less than we can sell it. Well, how are they going to do that? They can't compete with us at all because we're not selling it. We're leasing it. Okay, so they lease it. Say our lease costs $300 and their lease costs $2 or $1. Well, are they providing a full lifetime warranty? No. Are they providing instant repairs, replacement at any cost, upgrades for free? Well, no, they can't do that because if they did that, there'd be no profit left. Wow, there's the key. So what you're saying is that we're doing everything in such a way that even if somebody tries to rip us off, they will fail. They'll either fail or they'll have no profit left. And they can't do that under the normal circumstances of a corporation that needs to make a profit. They would have to become a B corporation like we are. They would have to pay their workers enough to buy their product in order to compete with us. And that's okay, because we're going to let anybody who wants to build these things build them if they use our model of building them. And so this whole philosophy of flipping capitalism over to a benefit to the community, a benefit to the worker, a benefit to the world, a benefit to the ecology is going to spread like wildfire. I predict that it will be very successful, and people will love it because they're going to become rich for doing what they really love to do, which is to make a beautiful quality product, have a job that they're really excited about, and not something that's tedious and low paying. All those kind of jobs, at least in our field, will disappear. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.